It's kind of fascinating. Elon Musk, a guy totally obsessed with building our future, maybe even on Mars, seems to be looking backwards, way back, to ancient Rome. He sees a warning in the collapse of the Roman Empire, a warning for us, right now. So, what's the deal? What's the connection he's making? And more importantly, is he right? So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at what Musk's warning is exactly. Then, we'll see how that stacks up against what historians actually think. From there, we'll jump into the modern debate about birth rates, because that's really what this is all about. We'll also ask, why Rome? Why is everyone always talking about Rome? And finally, we'll explore how history itself can be used as a powerful tool in today's arguments. All right, let's dive right in with Musk's central claim. He believes the fall of Rome has one very specific, very direct lesson for us today. So at a town hall not too long ago, Elon Musk basically said that declining birth rates are this ancient recurring problem. In his proof, he points to Roman laws from way back in 50 BC that were specifically designed to encourage citizens to have more kids. His argument is that even mighty Rome faced this exact challenge, a population in decline brought on by its own success. And this gets to the heart of his idea, something we can call the prosperity paradox. It's this theory that the more successful, the more stable, and the wealthier a society gets, the fewer children people have. Now, in Musk's view, this isn't just some social trend. It's a fundamental, cyclical threat. It's something that has brought down great civilizations before, and he's worried it could happen to us all over again. But is it really that simple? I mean, come on. Could one of the greatest, most complex empires in history really fall apart for just one single reason? Well, let's see what the historians have to say about that. And here is where you see a huge split. On one side, you have Musk's theory. It's clean, it's simple, it identifies one single repeating problem. But on the other side, you've got pretty much the entire historical consensus, which sees the fall of Rome not as one single event, but as this long, slow, messy unraveling, a collapse caused by a whole web of interconnected problems. Historians basically describe a perfect storm. The empire's military was stretched incredibly thin. The political class was just swimming in corruption. The gap between the super rich and, well, everyone else was massive. You had the elites dodging taxes, becoming so powerful they were practically a law unto themselves, kind of like early feudal lords. The central government in Rome just started to matter less and less. It wasn't one thing, it was everything, all falling apart at once. So while historians are looking at this giant, complicated puzzle, Musk is zeroing in on just one piece, the birth rates. And there's a reason for that. His whole reference to Rome is really a gateway to a very modern and, frankly, very heated debate that's happening right now.
And this question is really at the heart of it all. You look at many developed nations today, and their birth rates are falling below what's called the replacement level. So the big question is, should we be panicking? Is this an existential threat, a sign that we're headed for doom, or is there something else going on entirely?
This whole debate really has two main camps. In one corner, you've got the argument that the math is just simple and terrifying. If birth rates stay low, the population shrinks. That means fewer workers, collapsing pension and welfare systems, and just a slow fade into cultural and economic irrelevance, or worse. But the other side says, hold on, this is just fear-mongering. They argue the real problem isn't that people don't want to have kids, it's that our society makes it ridiculously expensive and unstable to raise them. They say forget ancient paradoxes. Just look at today's housing prices, the insane cost of childcare, and wages that aren't keeping up. Which, of course, brings us to a really fascinating question. With all these modern economic issues right in front of us, why are we even talking about ancient Rome? What is it about this particular empire that keeps getting dragged into our conversations about the future? Well, the answer, according to many analysts, is that Rome just carries a special kind of weight. Bringing up the Roman Empire is a powerful rhetorical shortcut. It's like you're wrapping your modern opinion in the authority of the past, making your argument feel less like a political stance and more like some timeless, universal truth. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. The publication Pharos, which actually tracks these kinds of historical references, has a very clear take on it. They argue that for people like Musk, using ancient history is a deliberate strategy. It's a way to borrow the prestige of the classics to make their own modern viewpoints seem more legitimate. And this birth rate thing, it's not a one-off. Once you start looking, you see a clear pattern emerge of using these simplified historical takes to make a point about today. Let's look at a few more examples. Musk has shared this meme before. It's pretty popular. It uses these Roman-style images to tell a very simple, cyclical story of history. And the implied message? It's not exactly subtle. It's that we are currently in that good times create weak men phase, and what we clearly need is for some strong men to come along and fix everything. In another case, he brought up the Roman dictator Sulla as a model for how to deal with corruption. But what got conveniently left out of that reference? Oh, just the tiny detail that Sulla cleansed the state through a horrifyingly brutal campaign of political assassinations, literally offering rewards for the heads of his enemies. It's a very selective reading of history, to say the least. He has also claimed that Rome fell because its army started to rely on non-citizens, a point he made during a discussion about modern immigration. The big problem here? It's just historically not true. Non-citizen soldiers were absolutely essential to the Roman army throughout its history, especially during the period when it was most successful and expanding. So, at the end of the day, we're left with three really distinct ways to look at this. You have Musk's perspective. History's simple, it repeats itself, and right now it's warning us about birth rates. Then you have the historian's view. History is an incredibly complex web, and there are almost never any simple answers. And finally, the analyst's view. History is a powerful story, a tool that people use to shape the present and push their own agendas. Ultimately, this leaves us all with a really critical question we should ask ourselves. Whenever somebody uses the past to make a big claim about our future, whether it's about the fall of Rome or anything else, it is always worth stopping for a second and thinking, okay, who is telling the story? And more importantly, why are they telling it now?